So you started the off season with a social impact report launch at Howe College. How did you find that and the impact of that report?
Yeah, it's been something that we've done for the last few years, really just to demonstrate our impact in the community. And the numbers that we had this year were outstanding. We had some support with Birmingham County FA, and we managed to use the same numbers that the EFL clubs, or the same method the EFL clubs have been doing. And that came back with our generic social impact value of £3.9 million into the local community. So with a number that big, it seemed daft just to produce something. So we set a dinner, we got a range of different partners that we invited in, whether that be for our various teams or education partners or our commercial partners. We got everyone in a room and sort of presented that information, and thanks to the people that have helped us to get to that value, and really shouted about what we're doing now and hopefully what we're going to continue to do more so in the future. We did the event at Howe College, again, part of us trying to create more links within the community. Howe College, we just announced a partnership to deliver the HND programme as an extension to the education pathway that we already have at the club. And, they're a big player in the town locally, so hopefully we'll do a lot more with them in the future as well.
So off the pitch, in the off-season, it's been a very, very busy summer, and I'm sure a very expensive one. Brand new pitch that everyone's excited about. There's been endless other developments. You've had a new carpet, new painting, new changing rooms, a new path.
Yeah.
Can you give us a bit of insight into all those changes?
Yeah, well, I'll start by just saying everyone says, I bet you've enjoyed the rest. And I think everyone involved in football realises the off-season is by no times a rest period, and especially this year with so much going on. I think I've been sat in the chair 5 years now, and the pressure getting to the point of having the new pitch was, something that, if I'm honest, I think when I first took on the club, people saw as the point when the bubble might have burst. It's a lot of pressure. The new pitch has cost north of £200,000. There's no football foundation funding or anything, supporting that. That's on the club to make that happen. And the growth in what we've had has enabled us to be able to get the club in a good position now to be able to make that happen. And some planned and some not. Other things have cropped up. But if we go to the pitch, a tiny bit delayed on what we'd expected, but I think a lot of things in construction that could be the case. And now we've got the pitch down. I mean, this is, in terms of artificial pitches, we've worked with PST Sport. This is literally the best quality artificial pitch you can get, and it enables us to play right up until the Football League. So the old carpet was, it's basically laid on tarmac, like a porous tarmac base, and then there was a 60mm carpet, which had the sand and then rubber infill, as you see. The new one, we've also got a shock pad in the new one. So there's effectively a 10mm foam underlay and then a 45mm carpet on top, which will have the sand and the rubber on. And that will improve the performance of the pitch, makes it far more playable, and hopefully it'll be as robust as the last one. The previous carpet lasted 9 years, so we're hoping the new one will last the sort of same level. But in terms of what we're now producing for the people that use the facility, there isn't a possible artificial pitch that's any better than what we've got now. So we'll continue to have our extensive use for all of our teams and different community bits. So it's something we're really proud of. It's something that looks fantastic. I think that the ground at the moment, I've got to admit, it's been one long summer, but you look now at the new dugouts. We've had the pathway built around the goal storage area. 2 weeks before pre-season started, we realised we had a problem with the changing rooms, so they've had to pretty much go back to plaster and be gutted. New flooring, new furniture in there, and so look at the ground now; it's fantastic. And I think one of the things that's been overwhelming really this year is the support we've had. Windsor Carpets moved heaven and earth to be able to, sort out the floor and the change rooms for us in a short space of time. And as you mentioned, they also fitted the new function room carpet, which has really give that a new lease of life. And endless amount of, volunteer hours that have gone into painting every fence, or moving stuff around, or just moving old dugouts and different things. As there's been endless amount of hours. For staff on site, especially Wevo, who runs the facility, and the endless amount of hours of work that have gone into it. I mean, a huge thank you to the volunteers that have come in and done a bit, and it really touching. I said I won't name individuals because you always forget someone, and I feel so guilty about that. But Matt Hayes, Simon Stringer have been fantastic and been here for endless amount of hours. Val and Ray, Ian Wardman's done his bits with doors. Greg's painted the changing rooms. Dave Ralph, ever present, always around the club and helping out. The list of those people goes on and on. And what we've got now is great. But I sent a message to an individual in that list and said, I went away and came back, and they'd painted the one new wall in the car park, and I came back saying, that looks outstanding. I can't believe we've never done that in the past. And he just said, the response was basically, look, we are, and it mentioned others, we're just so, we want to make our club, as good as it can be, and we've got such pride in it. And you go back to the social impact report and what we're trying to do, our mission statement and values is to create civic pride in the town. And I've always said, I don't think you got much of a better place in Redditch where people are proud of the town and the place. So for these people to put in those hours, because they are so proud of the football club and the venue and what we're trying to do, it's a massive shot in the arm really for what it is that we're trying to do as a football club. And we've got that reward now, and the ground looks as good as it's ever done, and we're really excited to start the new season.
So I suppose with that, people always want to know what's next, even when work's been done. Is there anything else planned stadium work-wise?
Yeah, there could be. Well, one, looking at the ground now, one of the things I think makes the stadium really pop is the amount of advertising we've got around the place, and whether it be different colours of boards, we're in a great place where every single commercial partner's renewed with us this year, which is outstanding, in a current climate of way things are. But I think that just shows you the bit that they're getting back, whether that's business being passed between our business club members, or the brand awareness that they're getting from being at the ground, that has a huge footfall, not just on a match day, but for every day of the week. So the ground looks great. We've got a few more advertising boards and new ones that have gone in, and we're hoping that we can carry on engaging the business community, and we've still got a range of opportunities for local businesses to really promote. And I will say local, for us now, it's international businesses, it's international companies that are working with us, and I think we've got such a profile now. It's great, and we want it to continue. So we'd love to see more boards going in the ground and more partners here with us. But in terms of the facility itself, recently announced that the lights on the road going down. It's been very much a bit of a pet project. It's really frustrated me that with how busy we are, and the various activity we have, with all the juniors through the week and our education for the day, especially, that the only road that connects us to the town has got no footpath and has got no street lights, and I just found that bizarre. And considering we've been here over 80 years now at this facility, I find it baffling it's never been sort of brought up before, but we've campaigned for years now to make this happen, and we've had some great support from the Football Foundation, individuals at the council, and our MP Chris Blaw's really got behind the lighting on the road. So Sally Swan Street will have 9 new lamps going into it, we're told, in September. And I think just a general safety of everyone visiting the stadium, and the feel of walking in and out, for spectators on match days when it's dark in the week, or juniors or people turn up early. I think it's going to make that transition down the hill to the ground a lot more safe for everybody. And it's something that it's been a long time coming, but we've got there in the end. And again, thanks for everyone who's sort of got behind that story and mission. And we can't wait to see those lights go in. Let there be light.
So the football season is almost upon us, a few days away. It's been a summer of change for both the men and women's first teams. How excited are you at the prospect of both of their upcoming seasons?
Yeah, it's what we're here for, and it's been an exciting summer. Certainly, I think the men's team pre-season so far has been brilliant. I think the recruitment's been great. You know, for our supporters, some old faces, some new faces, some experienced players, and some young and exciting players. And I think that the general feel around the place at the moment is very much of optimism. You know, and for our women's team, it's been a real big bugbear for me personally. I think it's the one part of the club that I've not necessarily been happy with. You know, and I don't think on a personal level, I don't think I've managed to really grasp it and push it on me once. So there's been a real big focus on the women's team, and I think with women's football, you know, Lionesses winning Euros is great, but I often have this bit with football at our level. That's great, and I'm sure it will have an impact, and it raises awareness to the profile of sport. But you know, the misconception that, you know, we get loads of funding for women's football and our women's team, you know, and all that, we don't. So we've got to make sure that we set out a real plan. And one of the things through, you know, the last 12 months of really digging into this, we've got our women's team now at a point where, you know, they're in a really, really good place. Again, the recruitment's been fantastic. And speaking to Jade, you know, she's really pleased with where we are now. And, you know, what you know, we've committed to having all the games at the Valley, all their training kits arrive. We've been, again, supported by some fantastic corporate partners to really promote the team. And, you know, the kits have all been delivered with all the new sponsorship on them, which is fantastic. And, you know, we want to make sure now that moves on. And, you know, there's a different transition that, you know, there's an expectation now. You know, we want to take this seriously. I think a lot of clubs have really gone early on the women's team, and they find it, you know, difficult because it's not been sustainable. And we want to make our women's team sustainable, and it's going to be by attracting more corporate partners and more people down the hill to watch a game, just like it is with the men's team. So we've got a different mission this year. I think women's football's got, it's not men's football. And it's very different, and it comes with its own challenges, its own opportunities, you know, and we've really assessed that now, and we've set out a few things now of things that we can do to really help promote it, you know, and bring the club closer together. Our men's and our women's team are all going bowling together on Thursday, and really sort of bring that unity of the club at the senior level together, and little bits like that, greater awareness on the media. We're hoping that we can really raise the profile of our women's team, and there's a target this year for them to win that league, you know, and they start their FA Cup journey on the 7th of September against Dudley Town here at home. Something that, again, we're going to talk about and promote. We want to try and get a crowd down to, you know, support the women on the afternoon, and hopefully they can have the same fairy tale cup run that we're hoping our men's team can have. So that's, you know, the women's team in a T. It's a very bigger expectation on that now, and we want to sort of drive that forward. Regarding the men's, pre-season's been fantastic. The optimism's great. We've got our first trip to Sudbury on Saturday for our first chance of getting some real points, and we all know pre-season's, you know, nice, but what matters on Saturday, and we can follow up then. Hopefully, it's bringing back 3 points from Suffolk on Saturday with, you know, 2 home games. Monday here against Stratford, and Saturday then against Royston. And, you know, we've got an exciting August, especially with the big derby game on Bank Holiday Monday against Bromsgrove here. So, you know, things are really building now. And as I say, every season the 50p will go in the merry-go-round, and we'll see what happens this year. We've certainly seen. We've seen highs, probably not as high as I'd like, but we've seen a hell of a lot of lows. So we'll see what this season brings, and you know, take the journey on together as the Red Army as it is.